This is a very high-tech lab because the important thing with our company is the ingredients that make up our products. We're not just making products and putting them into a bottle. We're making them with very powerful, expensive ingredients. And you know what? We don't want them wasted. We're going to put them in the concentration that's necessary to give the maximum effect possible. And we're going to put a lot of them in there. So when you make a product, you have to heat it, cool it, blend it, do all kinds of things. There's chemical reactions that take place. And we have to make sure that that molecule, that active ingredient, is viable and there in the quantities it's supposed to be. You can see right here the massive size of this facility. This is colossal. Through that far end down there is all the semis bring the raw materials in. Things like boxes, bottles, stuff like that, as you can see around here, they get stacked and put here. The actives go into a quarantined area where they're tested to make sure they are what they are. And then bottles are dumped in here. This will rotate, set the bottles up, takes them down through this system, and it fills them. And you can see there's lots of lines filling tablets here. They'll move along real fast. They get down, and then they have a seal put on them. They're capped. They have a code date put on it, and they're labeled, and they go out and they're boxed. This is a powder mixer. This is one of the powder mixers we have in the facility. We have certain type. This is called a cone mixer here. We've got some ribbon mixers and other cones here. We load it through the top, so this whole thing rotates up. After all the products are picked and everything is loaded from the mezzanine, it comes down here. This tumbles and rolls around and augers going in it until it all gets mixed. If you think your wife's hair dryer is big, look at those two that are right there. And those are the tubes that come. That is how much heated air we put out of this thing. It is a monster. And that puts all of that air. Now this Fucoidan slurry that we have now comes through these little teeny pipes here. And it's under 8,000 psi. At 8,000 psi, if you took that thing and you put it against this steel, it'd cut right through steel, cut right through concrete. But it's under that much pressure and it shoots it all the way down the end of this thing, while this huge volume of air, look at the air movement that's in that goes out to dry it out, to drive off the volatiles that we want out of it. And at the end, we collect our ash, and what started out is as a seaweed was made to a liquid through phases, then to a powder, and then we take it back to a liquid again. This got a nice smell to it too, doesn't it?
Yep.
I believe that's Fucoidan. Anyway, but it could be, products need to taste good, no matter how powerful they are. Remember cod liver oil, any of you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good because it tastes so bad. Now, you got to remember that it is good because it tastes so good with what we're doing. This equipment, these are big, 5,000 and 8,000 gallon vats that are here. They hold raw materials, partially finished materials, fully finished materials, and it mixes back and forth, heats, chills, agitates. Doesn't do heavy mixing, but it does liquid mixing in here and does large volumes. And if you're running many different types of products, if you're making huge runs, you may have 2 or 3 of these that they're all doing in it. You could have 3 of these with a fully finished, partially finished, and a raw material all being used in the same formula, going into those rooms, happening, coming back, or even being done here in another tank. Isn't that amazing? Just for a guy that started with a stainless steel dairy tank and a paddle from a canoe, this has come a long ways. All the bottles come in here. As they come in from the outside, this is a hermetically sealed room, and they go through and they're picked up here of where they actually turn so they're sideways, and they're sanitized and rinsed, turned up, drained out. Then they go in the next side where they're filled, they're spun out, then they're sealed, then they're capped, and then they go through and they go into a chiller, or where they're heated, and then they're heated up and cooled down rapidly, depending on the product, to whatever we want. Then they go out, they're dried. Once they're dry, and there's a big dryer that they're going through, then they have a label put over them. Once the label's put over, it goes into a shrink tunnel. It shrinks the label on it. Then they're coated, then they're all x-rayed. Then they go into a box, it's sealed, they run down the line, they're automatically put onto a pallet, and if we want to, it's automatically shrink wrapped, and then a forklift comes in and picks it up. Now that piece of filling equipment that we went in the room that was the filler, that does 500 bottles a minute. Imagine a minute. That's the speed we can crank it up to. So that son of a gun can run. So what you've seen from the inception of when the products are automatically ordered, automatically stocked, automatically picked, loaded by hand, of course, after they're weighed for control, and then they're automatically mixed, automatically filled, automatically processed, labeled, everything automatically boxed, they come out. Are we ready for you? You bet. And we built this for you guys, and it's ready, and it's going. It's cooking. We just got to get you guys cooking. This one is a finished product. It is a super saturated solution. Other companies' products are highly dilute drinks. This is a highly concentrated, super saturated solution. It's really a natural medicine, an elixir that is very concentrated, and it's easy to see right there. You will never go to a company in your life that has this kind of facility because they just don't have this kind of facility. And this is the beginning. Can you imagine? This kind of thing set up at the beginning of a network marketing company. It's never happened in the history of network marketing that a company has started out massive. They don't even start out moderate. They start out small. We're massive from the very beginning. We're state-of-the-art in everything we do. We have the most powerful, extraordinary products because we're using the most exotic, expensive, effective ingredients, and we're using lots of them in the same batch, and we're using the highest concentration. And we have this huge automated system to support all of this. And on top of that, the most beautiful packaging, all of it. The compensation plan that is the giant engine of them all. Nothing has ever been designed like what this is. It feeds money, it knows right where to put it, and it puts it in the amounts to make distributors successful. We have so many products, and they're so great, and they're so extraordinary. There's never been a line like this in the history of the world. Never. There's never been a product like Fucoidin. Yet there has been, but it's never been taken to this level. The world's greatest ingredient since the beginning of time is now better than it ever has been. And we have it patented. And that's our target item. Talk about hot. When hot is hot, this is red hot. So anyway, time to get to work? You bet. You got your gold, stake your claim. Let's go mine it. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks for your tour.
Thank you.